And before we start, you know me, I'm Whitey, aka James, and then we have whoever wants to introduce themselves next.
I'm Jimmy. I'm a friend of James, aka Whitey. Really don't have a YouTube channel. Not special.
And I'm semi-special. I'm an old YouTube washout named MagusX1. Hey guys, Magus here.
From the original YouTube.
Yeah,
it was good.
From the, when YouTube was a wonderful and magical land.
Okay, so today our first big topic, and I mean this one's really hard for me. It took me a while to actually figure out what my two favorite were, but today we're going to answer what's your favorite Japanese RPG and what's your favorite Western RPG. And to qualify as an RPG, just about anything that's considered an RPG. We're not going to go into this has stats and this doesn't. I don't care about that. If it's an RPG and you know it's an RPG, it's an RPG.
All right, we can make it a philosophy video.
No, we're not going to make a philosophy. Okay, so you guys mind if I go first? Because it took me a long time and I just want to get it out now.
Good.
Okay, so Western RPG, and some people are going to be like, oh, you're so stupid, you don't play a lot of games. But it's not Baldur's Gate, so fuck that. It is actually Mass Effect 2, and I know a lot of people are going to be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I'll tell you why Mass Effect 2 is my favorite, and it's going to come down to a later discussion of what I think makes a great Western RPG. It's getting emotionally attached to a character, and I got emotionally attached to every single character in Mass Effect 2. It was the game where I sat down, beat it in 2 days, and replayed it again and beat it again in the same week. That happens maybe once every 5 years for me. And it's that type of game that I literally became such a big fan, I have a fucking tattoo of it on my arm. So you know that this is my favorite Western RPG because it just made me the biggest Western RPG fan after I played it. So there are various reasons. I love the story, I love the combat, and I also really, really love the characters, and that's a difference between story and characters for me. But I loved everything about this game. So that's my Western RPG. My Japanese RPG is another recent one. Not that I don't love the classics like Chrono Trigger and Final Fantasy, because I do, but my favorite is Persona 4, and there's various reasons why. Some people think that the Persona series is terrible because it strands away from Shin Megami. They would be stupid. It is a series that tries to combine a lot of elements of other games and does it pretty well. You make choices, it's a sim emulator, but on top of that, it's a good combat system with a great story. And Persona 4 does something that I find pretty rare in Japanese RPGs, gives really good character development. It far surpasses a lot of other stories already, but the characters themselves are interesting enough to carry it by itself. So Persona 4 is that one game I sat down, I played 80 hours, beat it, and then I bought the PS Vita version, and I almost did the same thing. I'm at the end, I haven't beat it yet 2 years later.
Is it the same game?
It's not the same game.
Okay.
No.
It is the same, but they added literally, I would say like 50 hours of content, which you just don't see developers even try to do. They even revoiced some stuff, and it's just so much, so good. It's so good to replay, especially on the go.
This is going to be a Persona 4 commercial. How long?
But yeah, but okay. So those are my two favorite absolute, and I have plenty of others, but I'm just going to list those two for now.
All right.
Damn. I'll go if you guys don't mind.
Yeah, go.
Okay, so I'm just gonna get my JRPG one because if you happen to watch my channel and listen to my podcast, you know what it is. It's my favorite.
I have a feeling.
You know what it is, huh, James?
Call of Duty.
No. Oh. No,
Yes.
Actually, it's Battlefield. Not sure.
Oh, of course.
No, my favorite JRPG is my favorite game of all time, and that is Xenogears.
It's a good choice.
Yeah. The thing with Xenogears is, I love Persona, and James is absolutely right about it, but Xenogears was that game that hit me with such good characterization, such a great, crazy story. It actually had an effect on my life. It made me look, I was raised Catholic. It kind of made me question things in terms of religion. Yeah, when a piece of fiction starts making you question things, that's a pretty powerful piece of work. So, yeah. And it is. I don't know if you guys played it, but I mean, it's...
I did. I love Xenogears. I fucking hate Xenosaga, but I love Xenogears.
I'm not a fan of Xenosaga either, so I'm with you on that.
Yes. Yes.
But Xenogears is a masterpiece in every fucking level.
I agree.
So, Western RPG. Mass Effect 2 is great, and yes, it is an RPG. It's an action RPG, so that's...
Yeah.
Okay, just getting out of the way. For me, though, it's Baldur's Gate 2.
Okay. Well, let me clarify. I like Baldur's Gate 2. I fucking hate Baldur's Gate 1.
Fuck it.
No, fuck 1. I love 2. I don't love 2. I think 2's good, but overrated. But anyway, keep going.
I think 2's in my, like, top 5 games of all time.
Wow.
Yeah, I love Baldur's Gate 2. I've played it dozens of times. What's amazing about that game is, you could play it different ways, and always, for some reason, I don't know why, but you discover something new every time you play that game. And just like any great BioWare game, you just fucking the characterization, the characters are just so goddamn good. They're so fleshed out, and it's a masterpiece too, so.
Good choices. All right, Jimmy, I'm dying to hear you.
Well, I mean, mine aren't that exciting. I feel kind of bad because, I mean, I guess I'll go with my Japanese one first. Okay. And my answer's not just going to be fuck every Japanese game. It's I'm actually really conflicted between Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy X.
That's it. I mean, I have problems with both, but I can understand,
me too.
Especially us growing up. That was our games.
Yeah, like I'm not coming from like a Spock point of view. This is clearly wrapped up with nostalgia. I think with those games, with Kingdom Hearts, what really got me is the fact that it was a Japanese RPG, and for the majority of all the games I've played that are RPGs, they were turn-based. And Kingdom Hearts just had you hopping around like an acrobatic ninja, bitch slapping people. That was a really nice change of pace. And I also really enjoyed that it didn't really take itself as seriously. And I felt that, if you asked me today what I thought of mixing a universe that has characters like Sin and Bahamut and Cloud with fucking Mickey Mouse, I would just say that you're high.
Oh, shit.
But they really nailed it. Like, they really combined the best of both worlds, and it was just not to sound cliche. It was kind of a magical experience. I really liked it.
It is. It's a great trip down memory lane.
And then same thing with Final Fantasy X. If you ask me today, I think turn-based combat systems are really boring, but I really like the aesthetic of the game. Like, there's no other game out there that looks like it, especially at the time. And it was just so fun getting lost in that world, even if the characters, and actually the characters for a Japanese RPG were pretty interesting, and it, unlike a lot of RPGs, the world made me want to explore it, which is something.
Yeah, the world, and surprisingly to me, the combat in Final Fantasy X were really good in my opinion.
I love Final Fantasy X. I just replayed it this year because of the HD re-release.
Oh yeah,
I have that, but I haven't played it yet.
It's really good. I think it's a great game. I think if anything narrative-wise it suffers is it came from a time. Yeah, the voice acting is spot on.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Let's not talk
about that.
There's points where it's really good, and there's points where it's kind of like okay, but
basically anytime Una spoke.
Yeah.
Good example.
Yeah.
Okay,
so that's Final Fantasy X and Kingdom Hearts for you. I say we give him both. James?
Yeah, I'll give them both because they're a very similar time period too. I think they're like a year apart, not even.
Yeah, they're a year apart.
Oh, cool. So, what's your Western? I'm really interested.
Well,
in this
I mean, to be honest, you stole it from me because Mass Effect 2, nothing in all of my time playing video games, single player at least, made me feel as just worried and intensely drawn in like the fucking suicide mission. There's I really like how in that game, like you said, you get invested in the characters and you spend a lot of time just cultivating these relationships, and at the same time they give the player a lot of choice, which is something you don't really see in a lot of games in general, and especially not in Japanese RPGs. But I really liked how with the loyalty missions in those games, you can choose to like bring your characters down a path of vengeance or redemption in a lot of cases. It really made you feel like the characters were your actual friends and you were changing their lives. So when you get to the end and they could potentially die, it made every single choice you had to make so intense.
Agreed. And I lost the 2 fucking people I like the most.
Yeah,
so
I
it
don't
really
you know
pissed me
what?
off.
You lost a lot of people, and I don't understand.
I lost Jack. I was like, what the fuck? And then I lost the fucking girl. What's her name with the helmet?
And I'm
the helmet.
And I'm the
Yeah,
asshole
so
whose whole team survived the first time I played.
God damn it.
Same here. You just gotta upgrade the ship and not be James. Just mess around.
Okay. So there's our list, and I mean, I was actually I was kind of surprised at some of them, but not all. But yeah, so that's our list for the top Japanese and Western